to the double thick thighs, twin sisters. Drop it down.
Okay, so I forget what I was when we left off just before. I was saying that I just realized that I realized why I have something inside telling me like to ask someone what to do, where to go. Like that's something that I've learned previously. So knowing now that I need to learn flow, that I need to learn what it's like to live from the inside out, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So that's one of the reasons I came down to this earth, is to learn that. So instead of me trying to fight it and be like, why can't I just work by a system, I'm just going to accept that this is something that I need to learn, which is, it just changes the perspective so much. So then I started to look at the things in my life that are really, really challenging, like really, really challenging, like my children, like, you know, I have, every time I learn, like I go to do something, I always fail at it, or fall, whatever you want to call it, minimum 20 times, minimum. And it's like every single step that I take, I have to learn it, like fully learn it and learn it and learn it. And sometimes that just gets like really, because I don't expect it. I'm like, okay, I need to get the sales team together. And then it's not just any sales team, right? It's someone that has the same values as me. It's someone that, it's a specific type of someone that has the gift that is able to get inside that other person's shoes to understand what they're saying and what they need, which is a gift that not a lot of people have. No, I won't say that. I'll say it's a gift that people don't really use, because, you know, the more you learn something or the more you do something, the bigger the muscle grows, the more better you get at it. So, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, okay, I got to get a sales team together. Awesome. And I'm like, I'm going to have to train them. Oh my gosh. Isn't there a faster way of doing this? But then again, I'm like, if my journey in this life is to do that, is every single step you take, you need to learn it, like fully learn it. So there is no fast track on anything. Even with my weight, right, I saw what happens when I prioritized my time for myself. I dropped 35 kilos. I also what it was like to not prioritize my time, and I gained 20 kilos. So it's like super crazy when I'm able to see this in myself. And you know, like getting out of my head and asking people what to do is something that I need to stop. You know, listening to people is one thing, but following what people say is another, and that's the one thing that I need to learn. But this has been huge, like even being a mum, like what a task to take on at such a young age. Do you know what I mean? Like, talk about learning, and then having 2 kids, like 2 of them. Imagine everything, like, and only now I'm like, wow, you know, I'm trying to learn how to be a mum to 2 teenagers, and learning, you know, what's the right thing and what's the wrong thing, or there's no right and wrong, but do you know what I mean? What's the right and the wrong thing? You know, like it feels like just such a big task to, because, you know, it's easy to have your children and to let them do, like, it's very easy to be like, okay, kids, go do your thing, whether you're successful or not, it doesn't matter. If you're depressed or not, it doesn't matter. You know, if you live in a filthy house or not, it doesn't matter. If you have sex with the world and take drugs, it doesn't matter. That's easy. like that, and I've seen what it's like when my mum did that with me. Live your life how you want to live it. I'm out. You know what I mean? But for my children, it's a different story. It's like, I understand that, you know, their life is written and God is with them, and I don't have control of their life. But sometimes you just need to make someone aware of, you know, certain things, and, you know, teaching them is another thing. Teaching them, like, about what they eat and about how they live and about the effort they put into their schooling and how they treat people and how they treat themselves. And, you know, like, you know, people say, you know, you cotton ball your children, but what is that? Like, you're protecting them from everything outside, and then when you're not around, what happens? So my biggest thing is, you know, learning how to give them a bit of a tour guide. But man, it's so big. But I mean, I came down to this earth to be able to do this, so God knows I can handle this. Like, I've got this, but what a task. And then learning about me and how to control my emotions, and, you know, how to listen to myself. Like, there's so many parts. I think being a human being is spoken about being so under, what's the word called? Like, being a human is huge. Being, like, living in growth mode is so big. It's so big. You can't even give the words out how big it is. So that without that awareness, you know, I'm sure we'll crush it, as hard as it may seem. Yeah. That's it.
Up a couple chops, pop that nigga with 100 shots.